Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Cybersecurity Unfiltered. Bob, we got Matt, and we got Chris.
Hey,
I'm here.
We got Matt bouncing around.
yeah, the standing desk, not standing. It's like ocean.
You gotta put some shims under that thing. Make sure it doesn't move.
Yeah, it's not exactly ideal for this, but
He could be bouncing around on a treadmill or something, I guess.
Well, that's why it's a standing desk. That's what I'm normally doing. But I'll spare you while I'm recording. Instead, I'll just show you my Father's Day present to fidget with instead.
Oh, okay.
That is the perfect thing to keep you occupied for like 3
Isn't
hours.
it though? It's
Yeah.
just like, during vendor trainings when you're bored. But anyway, what's going on, Chris?
I don't know. There's nothing happening in AI cybersecurity IT. It's been pretty lame lately.
Nope, we're out of the job. Signing off.
Yeah, we're out of job. All right. We never covered this one. Probably because I don't think we were recorded at this point, but back in late 2021, Illuminate Education had a little bit of an issue. And the FTC just laid the hammer down on them. So let's get into this. So Illuminate Education, it's a K through 12 ed tech software vendor. They're based in Wisconsin. That part has no bearing on this entire story, but I just want to say that, just to say that the Packers suck. Anyway, we don't see a lot of FTC enforcement actions. We see them sometimes, but this is specific. So this happened. I'm going to lay out a timeline, and then we'll talk through it. But this just happened. The FTC action just happened. So in 2020, Illuminate had hired an external security firm to perform a formal NIST cybersecurity framework assessment. So come in, look at our cybersecurity program, tell us how good it is.
Which is a good thing to do, by the way.
Yeah, good thing.
Good
Sure.
step.
It's perfect, right? They got to see. Okay. They got to see. And it delivered a clear roadmap for highlighting the gaps. They had some serious identity and access management, or what we call IAM, problems, and some weak credentials and unpatched software. Okay, that was in January 2020. So in February 2021, they did a follow-up assessment. They hadn't fixed anything. They ignored everything. So okay. So that's interesting. So January 2020, they do the assessment. They do a follow-up 13 months later, February 2021. They didn't do anything. They don't really talk too much about what that assessment gave them. I'm going to guess it gave them a C again. And in December 2021, a hacker found a 10-year-old stale API access key belonging to an employee who had left in 2018, over 3.5 years earlier, and they gained access to their cloud for 13 days. And they did what any good hacker would do. They just decided to exfiltrate all the data. They reset database passwords. They altered security groups. They stole 787 database backups, and they compromised basically the identity and medical records of 10.1 million students.
Oh, Power School all over again.
Yeah. So they drug their feet on notifications. Despite corporate promises of 72-hour notifications, they took 2 years to inform school districts that the students' data has been stolen.
Okay.
So this happened remember, January. So the hacker had access from December 21 through sometime in January 2022. They didn't notify people until starting in 2024. 2025, State Attorney General step in, and they forced a $5.1 million multi-state cash settlement. Well, the FTC got involved, and June 5th of this year, they voted 2-0 to issue its final consent order. So let's back up a second. They never rotated the keys for an employee that hadn't been there for 3.5 years.
That takes effort.
They ignored 2 assessments that told them what the problems were, and they just ignored it, so they didn't fix it. So some people might call that negligence. Not me. I'm not calling it negligence. Some people on the internet might, though.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So you see what I did there? Yeah. This is for, By the way, everybody, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're here to entertain and educate. So you have to let's. What do you guys think about this? This reminds you of like Power School. I know, Bob, you said that, but like, what else? What does this remind you of? Just common stuff from customers, prospects. Heard the story before.
Pick a story. I don't care which one, because passwords have historically always been the issue, and they're just sitting out there. It's hard to go grab one right off the top of my head. I don't know, I'm drawing a loss. What are you thinking?
I mean, 2 years to notify, really?
Well, we weren't sure what data got compromised. We wanted to make sure.
I'm shocked it was only $5.1 million in a multi-state cash settlement. And the FTC didn't find them any money. But we'll cover what they're forcing them to do. But they didn't find them any money, which is insane to me.
Well, what's the $5 million settlement for?
State AGs. So state attorneys general sued them for multiple states and got a $5.1 million multi-state settlement. But the FTC got involved for the federal level. And so let's just dive into what they're forced to do. This lasts for 10 years, by the way. So this lasts through 2036. So if you're ever told that, like, if you're ever part of an FTC settlement, especially in this case, they usually force you for a period of time to do whatever. And you better do that, because the fines are like $50,000 per incident. So I don't know, like, if they broke down CIS controls into like all the controls and they said you violate all these and charge you $50,000 per incident, that'd probably bankrupt companies. So anyway,
wasn't there also something on the FTC enforcement where it was following the executives?
Yeah, we'll get into this one. This
okay.
Good luck. There's part of this where I'm gonna be like, good luck on this. Okay, so they have to aggressively minimize the data that they collect. They are legally barred from collecting, processing, or maintaining any student data unless it's strictly necessary to fill active current school contract. I don't know what it sounds like they were over collecting data and they stored it forever. They now have public data retention times. Within 90 days, they must publish a data destruction schedule. They have to state exactly why they hold the data and give a hard deadline for when it's going to be permanently wiped.
I like that.
It's kind of broad though. It's like, well, how long can you hold it after a student? Like FTC safeguards, I think it's like 3 years. But anyway, that's for.
But I don't really understand what they need more than basically their grades and that they graduated and things like that.
I think these should be public laws personally. Like, this is just common sense shit. But what do I know? I'm just here to entertain. So framework alignment and patching. So they did the NIST assessment. So they I don't know if they based off NIST CIS, or I'm sorry, CSF. It's like cybersecurity framework. This specifically mentions NIST SP 853, which is far beyond like the cybersecurity framework. But so they must build a comprehensive information security program. To pass, they are forced to deploy robust access controls, quarterly credential audits to kill stale accounts, and separate backup databases to prevent cascading cloud compromises. And they have to directly align to either NIST 853 or CIS security controls. So CIS V8. That's part of it. They have automatic FTC reporting. If Illuminate experiences an incident, it has to notify any state, local, or federal entity. They must automatically report the breach to the FTC within the same window. Okay, well, whatever. This is the killer. I don't know how this is going to happen. Personal executive liability. The company's CISO must personally sign and certify compliance to the FTC every single year. Good luck getting a CISO that's going to sign that.
Wow.
For everybody out there, and I'm sure maybe if a CISO watches this, CISOs don't get the same protection as other executives. A lot of times they're not offered insurance. So,
well, that's a hard position to be in, because with the CISO, that gives them all the liability. But there are times where they might say, hey, organizationally, this needs to happen, and it doesn't happen. And they're kind of the one left holding the bag.
And by direct, Yeah, exactly. And by this, I mean like directors and officers insurance.
Mhm.
They don't offer that. I don't know how much they're going to have to pay a CISO to sign off on this, but they're going to have to do something like D&O insurance. It's going to have to be. There's no shot somebody's taking this job.
It's going to be
Also, hey,
have to be enough for them to self-insure or something.
Yeah. That's going to be fun. This had no upfront penalties. This is 10 years though.
Wow.
I think they have to, I think every 2 years they have to have, let's see. No, yeah, every 2 years they have to have a mandatory out-of-pocket independent third-party security framework assessment. So they're going to have 5 of these over 10 years. And they have to provide that to the FTC.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, you always said you wanted to have more teeth. Some teeth there.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I want to see individuals fined out of this. Like the people who saw the assessments twice and ignored them, and then they didn't actually notify people for 2 years. That's an executive decision.
Mm-hmm.
So the board needed to be penalized for that. The people, and if the board never knew about it, whoever was in charge, like the CEO, whatever, if they had a CISO that was hiding it, whoever hid this needs to be fined.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even say this: I don't care about the jail time situation. I think embarrassment at this point is probably the best thing to do. Your name should be published everywhere. And next time somebody goes to hire you, all they should see is you let a company that took 2 years to notify and left accounts open for 3.5 years. So if you're the CISO at the time, or if you're a CIO or whoever you are that was in charge of this, that stays with you for the rest of your life. Like people want to be nice, and I'll be nice with them, but we need to scarlet letter these people. I'm sorry.
Scarlet lettering.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be a big H.
How do you feel about this, Chris?
Yeah, it's just the same shit over and over again. We see this all the time.
Yeah.
And yes, this has teeth. Yes, but no fines, no upfront fines. Oh, sure, they're gonna have to pay. They have to pay for 5 security assessments. What's that going to cost them? Like, I don't even know how much money this company makes. Hold on, this should be fun. What's their annual
turning a blind eye? I mean, they hired someone to find problems. They found problems, and then they did nothing.
Let's see. I didn't look their balance sheet up.
It is funny that they called it identity management, and it was still credentials from a past employee that were, used.
Yeah. And they were bought just after this happened. They were bought by Renaissance Learning, and apparently they don't release their financials, so that's fun. Allegedly, their total assets in 2020 was 850 million, allegedly. So let's say they're $1 billion company. Maybe they're not. It doesn't really matter. Why are we not finding them a portion of that revenue for the next 10 years? Because I'll tell you what, $5 million for the people that got their data stolen. What they actually see out of that? Probably nothing.
Mm-hmm. $7 check.
Yeah, there's just not enough teeth in this
I got my $6 meta check.
I got my mine was like $7.38 from the Meta lawsuit.
Like everything else, the only people that make money in that is the lawyers that were involved in the settlement. They make money, and then the rest of the people are left to hold the bag.
Class action lawyer.
That's not me picking on lawyers. Like, they're doing their job. That's what they're doing. It's just like,
but the truth is, big payouts, they become very little.
Yeah, you see it's like an NFL contract. You see the high number, but then the guy can be cut 2 years into the deal and get a fraction of that. But like, they always want to advertise the high number. Where you want to do is the guaranteed for injury situation. Yeah. So when we look at this, I mean, it looks like it has teeth to a point. Oh, I'm sorry. Their civil penalties that they face are $50,000 per violation per day. So I guess if they just lied for a year, could we do the math on how much this could cost them? $18 billion. I think that might put them out of business. no, $18 million. Can't do math. I think they should pay $18 million for the next 10 years. And I think that should go back to the people that had their data violated.
But I think the most important thing is, why don't leaders actually do something about it versus turning a blind eye? Because it's just keeps happening again and again and again.
Because it's not profitable and there's no teeth to stop it.
It sure isn't profitable to ignore it from the looks of it either, but you're right. They didn't get hurt enough here.
This is nothing. Yes, we talk about it. What I want to know is, how are they going to find CISO? It's going to sign off on this every year.
They're not.
They're going to have to include a CISO comp package that includes insurance. That's all.
World's biggest umbrella policy.
Includes insurance and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
They're going to have to. That business is going to have the policy. If they can even find anybody to write the policy.
Yeah.
Hartford's like, I'm out.
It might be multiple underwriters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Good times. Another I mean, this, and look how long this took, right? This happened in 21 to 22. They didn't notify until 24. So now we're sitting here in 2026. And they finally get a judgment.
Now that notification laws are a little more known, and I know that there's some teeth here, not as much as you like, but I kind of wonder how much this stuff's going to keep coming to light later. We've had so much to talk about, but this is something that happened quite a bit of time ago. And what else is out there?
He was pushed to the side. He's kept quiet. The business might be working with their own attorney, but their attorney's like, well, maybe we'll drag our feet. I don't know.
I mean, I know of a CPA in Michigan that hasn't notified, and they were hacked 4 months ago.
That's going to bite them in the butt eventually.
When my CPA was hacked a couple years ago, they took 5 months to notify us.
Yikes.
I was not happy about that.
Where you're like, by the way, there's something I do for a living and we should talk.
Yeah. So here's what I won't do. I won't do business with a customer like that. I wouldn't do financial business with a customer. Yeah.
I understand.
It's a line of
lines are crossed. Yeah.
Yeah. I won't work with family, and I won't work with,
why not family? Family's so easy to work with and get along with and plan things with always.
This is going to turn into a very long podcast. We shouldn't.
I was going to say, on that note, I guess we could probably wrap it up now. And
we're about 18 minutes.
I think the big thing here is, I don't think there's enough teeth in this. I think this is a joke. I think it's something. It's good that they're really put under the scrutiny for 10 years, but I don't think this happens often enough. And I really think they should be fined. And if they follow through on everything, maybe the money gets returned. So maybe you do something like where you put it in escrow, and the money, a portion of the money gets returned if you follow through on this. But I think they should have been fined. I think they should have been fined every year for 10 years. And they could have earned back some of the fine by following through.
I kind of like that escrow idea.
Yeah. We need to change something to put teeth into this for people to do this. And the thing is, like, we go to customers or we go to prospects and we say, hey, you should do this. And sometimes they just don't want to do it. Sometimes they're going to come back to us and they're going to be like, no, I don't want to do that. And that's their right? It's their business. They're allowed to make those decisions. If they want to eat that risk, that's their decision.
Risk sandwich, as somebody we know would say.
I don't ever want to hear that ever again. Please don't ever say that to me. But it's their risk to take. And I think the risk needs to just have bigger teeth to it, right? There needs to be penalties that are applicable. I think it needs to be nationwide, not the state to state stuff. State to state can go a little bit deeper if it wants to, but we need to set a nationwide data privacy, cybersecurity standard that people just need to follow.
Mm-hmm.
They at a bare minimum, if you hold customer data, and that won't affect every business because they don't hold personal data, but when you hold the data of children and you just ignore it, this is a slap in the wrist that's insane. It's actually a slap in the wrist it's a slap in the face to the parents who have to deal with this. and the people are going to grow up knowing that their social security number was exposed when they were a child, and they might not even know that by the time they grow up.
Well, and they're in a position where they could go try to get credit for the first time and find out that someone's already using their credit, and they already have some form of credit built, used, and destroyed before they were even given a chance.
Exactly, because most people don't go out and lock their kids' credit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I just think it's insulting. I think we need to do something better. Unfortunately, yeah. I'd run for office, but I'd never win. So it'd be a side clown show, but it'd be fun. I wouldn't win.
I'd watch those debates all day long, though.
It'd be fun. Anyway, if you guys have a topic that you want us to cover, if this personally affected you, let us know. We won't out you as a person, but we would love to know if you've been the victim of a breach and something from a major corporation or whatever. If something bad has happened to you, let us know. We can tell your story in an anonymous way. The trick is we want to get this stuff out there. We want people to understand that the world needs to change. And the only way we're going to do that is talk about it and get it out there, and hopefully eventually force this on our government and other governments around the world to make change. So
see you next week.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys.